The 10 most stable housing markets in America. Coming right up. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is James J, and today we're going to talk about the 10 most stable housing markets in America. Now, right now, as you can imagine, the housing market is in another frenzy in a more positive way, in my opinion, as we head back towards a more stable market. We're nowhere there yet, but we're heading that direction. The crazy seller frenzy that we had at the first part of this year is definitely slowing down as these interest rates continue to increase. And so now we're looking at where is a good place if you're looking to still own a home. We're the most stable market since the beginning of 2022. That's what we're talking about today. Let's jump right in. So these are the 10 states with America's most stable housing markets. And some key points here. This is an article from Scott Cohn from CNBC. Some key points here. Rising mortgage rates are a reflection of the Federal Reserve's effort to curb inflation. While I think most people understand the point of these interest rates, although it's not necessarily in the best interest of potential home buyers, especially first-time buyers, there's only one way really to curb the crazy inflation and the crazy inflation of home prices, and that is by raising interest rates. That's going to lead people to slow down their purchasing. They're going to delay purchasing and thus bring those housing prices back down, which is what we're seeing right now. Many forecasters now believe the market could cool considerably following years of explosive growth. Some states will fare better than others, and we're going to jump into those states right now. The three most important things in real estate: location, location, location. And the U.S. real estate market is in a weird place right now. Mortgage rates are nearly double what they were a year ago, reflecting the Federal Reserve's campaign to rein in inflation. But they have also been volatile, including some sharp declines from week to week. Now, one of the things that I've been mentioning about interest rates since we started this year is that we really went from mid threes, high threes, and then it was like jump right up to 5. Like we skipped that whole 4%. It feels that way. It was such a quick change. A lot of people were not prepared for it. So the beginning part of the year, as prices start to rise, all of a sudden you've got that quick spike in interest rates. Now people are in a frenzy trying to rush before rates go up any further. We saw that for the first 4 to 5 months of 2022. And like I said, now we're starting to see a slowdown, which is a good thing. We need to get back to a healthy market. This is not healthy where we are right now. Home prices remain stuck at historic highs, with bidding wars reported in some places, even as the inventory of homes for sale begins to grow in housing markets across the country, including some of the biggest in the states below, begin to cool. So where's everything heading? Well, Realtor.com recently revised its 2022 forecast, now calling for sales to decline by 6.7% this year. They previously called for a 6.6% increase. But even if the new forecast holds true, it will still be the biggest sales year since 2007. Okay, so let's put that in perspective. They initially said there were going to be a 6.6% increase in sale. Now they're saying it's going to be a decrease in sale. With all that being said, we're still going to have the biggest year since 2007. Put that into perspective, guys. So when you're looking for home prices to fall, and they have in some situations, they absolutely have been falling. Some of the builders are cutting prices. They're offering incentives. We're still going to have a huge year. One of the biggest years since 2007. So this is what I am advising people right now. For everybody, it is not a good time to buy, right? You got some YouTubers out there that are saying, oh, don't buy, it's going to crash, blah, blah. Listen, I've been in this game for a long time. I'm 18 years in. I've seen a lot of different things as well. I've seen 06, 07. I was very active in 06 and 07, 08. I know what happened, okay? We're not in the same situation. I understand that this bubble, so to speak, that we're in right now was kind of artificially inflated over the past couple of years after the pandemic. So, a lot of money was being printed, a lot of money was being given out, PPP loans, you had all this money being circulated by the government. Now that money is no longer valued at the same as it was pre-pandemic. So what happens? Everybody wants to go out and spend money. There's not enough supply for all the people that want homes, that want, you name it. Inflation kicks in, home prices kick in, home prices go up. That's where we are right now. And now that cooling is starting to happen right now. We're starting to see a cool down, and we need this. We need to get back to a healthy market, because since the pandemic, there has been nothing healthy about the pandemic. Nothing, right? Physically speaking and economically speaking, we are not in a healthy market at all, and we need to get back to that point. So number 10 on the list is South Dakota. Now, I've never been to South Dakota and have no desire to go there, but they are number 10 on this list. Foreclosure activity is very low, but the rising level of underwater mortgages could foreshadow some cracks below the surface. This is South Dakota. Now, when we talk about underwater mortgages, that basically means your home is worth less than you actually owe, right? That's an underwater mortgage. Your home is worth less than you actually owe. Now, we're going to see a lot of underwater mortgages, in my opinion, in the next several years. We're going to see more foreclosures in the next several years. Why? Because all those homes that were put on forbearance during the pandemic, we're 2 years now. We're 2 years out from that. All those foreclosures that would have happened that just got stacked up, and they got stacked up and stacked up because the pandemic, and then lenders said, you know what, we're not going to foreclose. We're going to just let you put these homes on forbearance. It's going to come to a head pretty soon. So you're going to start to see foreclosures. Are they going to be at levels of 2008, 2009? No, I don't see that happening, because you still have a lot of institutional buyers that are out there buying these homes. Guys, keep in mind, 2007, there were almost no, and I'm not going to say zero, there was very little, very few institutional buyers. What am I referring to? I'm talking about BlackRock, because it's probably the number one institutional buyers. These are companies that will come in and buy homes. They're buying them all over the place. This did not exist back in 2007. Now, it's a huge part of who's purchasing homes. If you look at the data in 2021, 28% of the home buyers in 2028, 28% was an institutional buyer, guys. That means the rest were purchasing properties, and we're already at a shortage. So think about that. 28% were institutional buyers. Not only BlackRock, there's some others out there, but I think BlackRock is probably the most well-known one that is going in neighborhoods and buying multiple homes. So 28% of the homes purchased in 2021 were by institutional buyers. Keep that in mind. So the 2022 economy rank for South Dakota was number 12. Appreciation was a little bit over 20%. Foreclosure rate, 1 in 17,724 housing units. That is going to change. I guarantee you that number is going to increase in the next couple years. Number 9 on the list, South Carolina. Inventory is still historically tight, with bidding wars still common in South Carolina markets and prices still steadily increasing. But new construction is surging and stress on existing loans is under control. The 2022 economy rank for South Carolina was number 13. Appreciation is 21.4%. And the foreclosure rate, again, 1 in 1,081. That number is going to increase, I assure you. Just stay tuned. Number 8, Arizona. Prices are surging here more than any other state, but new construction is booming too, helping to ease Arizona's inventory crunch. Rising foreclosures are a potential cause for concern, but home equity is solid. 2022 economy rank for Arizona was at 22, appreciation 27.4%. Foreclosure rate 1 in 1,861 housing units. For Arizona in particular, this is one of those markets, much like Texas and Florida. These are some of the hottest markets in the country. So Arizona, Florida, Texas, Tennessee, some of the hottest markets. Although Boise, Idaho, for some odd reason, is number 1 as far as appreciation goes. But companies, people that are relocating the most, those states, Tennessee, Arizona, Texas, Florida, those are in North Carolina. Those are like some of the hottest states in the country. And we're going to see what happens over this next few months and into 2023. What happens with all these people that have bid over asking for the first 4 or 5 months of 2022? What happens to all those people? Most of those people are going to have to hold on to those homes because they're going to be in that percentage of those underwater homes. If they try and sell, within a year or two. You're going to have to hold on to that home for a while, in my opinion, or convert it to a rental and keep it moving. Number 7, Vermont. The Green Mountain State continues to benefit from the residents seeking refuge from the big cities. Home prices are rising at a healthy clip, and mortgages are beyond healthy. New construction, however, is not keeping pace, and the overall economy in Vermont is sluggish. 2022 economy ranked number 33. Appreciation was 20%, and foreclosure rates 1 in 13,930 housing units. I've never been to Vermont. I do know where it's located. I don't know who wants to move to Vermont. I just don't understand. Now, I know a lot of people are wanting to get out of the big city life and go out and have some space and some land. They just want to get away from big city life. Now, Vermont, the economy, as you saw, number 33, there's not a whole lot to do as far as work in Vermont. Now, the beauty of this, what's going on right now, is that so many people are able to work remotely since the pandemic. This remote work is going to continue, and for some companies, it's going to continue forever. So a lot of bad came out of that pandemic, but a lot of good is coming out of it too. So the remote work is allowing people really to just move wherever they want and still be able to work. So Vermont, although the economy is not great, people are still moving there. Number 6, Tennessee. Tennessee has the second strongest overall economy in the nation, and its strong and stable housing market is a big reason why. Home prices are surging along with economic output. New construction is healthy, though foreclosures and underwater mortgages are starting to creep up. 2022 economy rank number 2, appreciation 24.1%, and foreclosure rate 1 in 2,797 units. Now, I've got a lot of friends that live in Tennessee. I know Franklin is a super hot area. Nashville is super hot. So along with a great economy in Tennessee, there's no state taxes, which is a plus as well. And their property taxes are nothing like what we pay in Texas. So Tennessee has been hot for several years, even pre-pandemic, and it's going to continue to get hotter even after we get through this recession that we're currently in. Whether the government says we're in a recession or not, I believe we are in a recession. Number 5, Idaho. Idaho's housing market has been going gangbusters for some time now. Buying a home in the gem state is not for the faint of heart, but new construction is slowly starting to relieve the inventory squeeze. Rising foreclosure are a potential warning sign if the economy tips into a recession. 2022 economy rank number 5, appreciation 27%, foreclosure rate 1 in 6,015. Number 4, the great state of Texas, where I am located. Texas population gains are helping fill a housing boom, but one that is not getting out of control. New homes for those of new residents are springing up fast, and home equity is good. 2022 economy ranked number 8 for the state of Texas, appreciation at 19.3, foreclosure rate 1 in 2,326. Now, I'm going to speak to this a little bit more because I'm in Texas. I've been a realtor in Texas for 16 years and a lender here for 8. So I know Texas very well, even though I have not necessarily lived in Dallas or Austin. I've lived in San Antonio, I've lived in Houston, I've been around all these big states. So I've seen what's going on in these cities. We are in much better position than I think a lot of other places. Now, we're going to see some price cuts. We've already seen it. We're going to continue to see it. We're going to see specifically Austin, because Austin got really crazy at the first part of 2022, where I've heard of people bidding 80, 90, 100 grand over asking. Okay. So those are going to be some underwater mortgages. It's just coming. It's down the road. A lot of people are just kicking the ball down the road. Eventually, you're going to have to pay the piper. And so if you bid, 60, 80, 90 grand over asking at the first part of 2022, again, I hope you plan on keeping that home for quite a while, because you're going to be in that underwater mortgage category if you try and get out, because the housing market is already cooling in Austin, as it is every other city in the state of Texas. But our economy is still strong, specifically in Houston, where I'm at. And you're going to see a lot of strong economies in a lot of these other big cities, including San Antonio, Dallas, and Austin. Still pretty good. And I think long-term, we're going to be okay. Number 3 on the list is Florida. It's almost all sunshine and light in Florida's housing market. Prices are jumping, but so are construction crews. Rising foreclosure rates in a state known for its boom and bust cycles could be a cloud on the horizon. So 2022 economy ranked number 4, appreciation 25.7%, foreclosure rate 1 in 1,211. Now, Florida is one of those states that boomed back in 2006, 2007, leading up to the crash. Florida was out of control, booming. Nevada, Las Vegas, booming at the time. Miami right now is booming. It's booming. The problem with Miami is that the rents are also booming like crazy. It is one of the highest, if not the highest city that has the highest increase in rent. So we're talking increasing in rent. We're talking increasing in pricing. And Florida is just in a position where I think it's just going to bust a little bit more than some of these other states. Texas, I think Texas is in pretty good shape for the most part. Tennessee, I think is pretty good shape. Nevada is in pretty good shape. But again, all these markets, no matter where you're located, we're going to take a hit here in the next several months to a year. You're going to start to see a lot of changing happening as rates are not done increasing. Let's be very clear. We're at a higher percentage interest rate than we've been in quite some time, but we're not done. All right. We're in about the midway point of 2022. Those interest rates are going to go up just a little bit more, in my opinion, before the year is out. So just stay tuned for that. All these states that I'm mentioning in this article are going to take a hit. It's just a matter of how much of a hit. So Miami, for example, it's going to take a big hit, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens. Number 2 on the list is Washington State. Washington's impressive run of economic growth has kept its housing market among the hottest in the nation for several years. A shortage of new construction is probably keeping prices high and raising continued concerns about how stable the market is. The 2022 economy rank was number 3, appreciation just over 20%, foreclosure rate 1 in 4,965. So Washington State pretty strong overall. They've been at a much higher appreciation rate for years. I have a coach of mine who is in the Washington State area, and their market has been on fire for years pre-pandemic. And can we get a drum roll for number 1? Utah. Yes, Utah. No matter how you look at it, the housing market in the Beehive State is buzzing. Prices are rising at the second highest rate in the country, but with the nation's fastest pace of new construction, plenty of new inventory is on the way in Utah. Foreclosures are manageable and home equity is strong in the top housing market in the nation. 2022 economy rank number 6, appreciation 27.1, and foreclosure rate 1 in 2,063. So there you have it, Utah. I would have never guessed it. You would have never got me to guess that Utah was the most stable housing market in the country. Been to Utah a few times. I don't get it. Other than, if you really like the snow, which I don't, it is the coldest place I've ever been in my life. And I've been to a few. Utah was the coldest in January, but I digress. Utah is the number 1 housing market as far as stability goes. Now, you're going to see a whole lot of changing over the next several months into 2023 and even into 2024. Will Utah still be as stable? We'll see what happens. So if you got any value out of this video, guys, hit that like button. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to continue to bring you valuable content. Let me know in the comments below where you're located and what's going on in your market. I want to hear from you. So thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, don't just make a move, make a power move. Join the power move community. I want to hear from you. I will see you guys on the next video.